This is gonna change the way that I game. So guys, back in November, I made a little discovery. A little discovery about a device called the AYN Thor. To give you a little rundown, this is an Android-based emulation device in the lovely clamshell form factor, and it is capable of everything. Just to be clear, this is not a sponsored video. There's no payment involved here. I bought this thing with my own money because I really wanted it. And now I'm gonna get out here and talk to you guys a little bit about it because I need to share this little device with the world, I think. I've had it for about a week now, and let me tell you, this thing, it is magical. Before I jump into all the nitty gritty, if you could hit that like button and subscribe for me if you're new, I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. So yeah, the AYN Thor, or as I've been calling it, the AYN Thor. I don't actually know how you're supposed to pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I'm gonna keep calling it the AYN Thor. I bought this little gizmo primarily for 3DS and DS emulation. There's a lot of games that I'm interested in replaying from that era, and although I could just fire up my 3DS, like that's perfectly fine, this little device does so much more than DS and 3DS emulation, and as soon as I saw it, as soon as I found that out, oh dude, it was over. I don't know a whole lot about the internalistics of the hardware. It runs on like a Snapdragon 8. Do with that information what you will. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. All I know is that it's strong enough to handle games from the dawn of time all the way up to the Switch. Yes, this thing can play Switch games. It is a portable Switch DS. Here's Tropical Monkey running on this thing, and it looks and plays amazingly. So I want to talk a little bit about how it feels to hold in my big ape hands. And I gotta say, it feels wonderful. That was one of the things that I was concerned about with this device before I got it. Like, I heard some complaints about people with big hands not feeling the most comfortable holding this thing for a long duration of time. I wasn't like super worried about it because like I never had that problem with my DS or 3DS. Like, I can hold those just fine. But yeah, no, I mean, to me it feels good. But if you're worried about it, they also sell a grip. I bought it just in case, but like, I really haven't had much reason to use it so far. I have played with it for a bit just to, you know, get a feel for it, but to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference either way. The right analog stick is a little bit tricky to get used to having to maneuver around just because, like, again, I mean, like, I don't know, just the form factor of it makes it a little bit funny. Another big complaint that I have seen is about the triggers, but again, I really don't mind this too much. I don't mind the way they feel. I actually kind of like it. Maybe I'm just weird. I don't know. As you can see, I've got like all kinds of systems and games loaded up onto this thing already. It's running on the Cocoon front end. I initially bought this thing with ISU in mind, which is another front end that you can get. And I like what they're promising with ISU. I like the things that are coming up. I did try to load this onto it initially, but I ran into some issues where it just completely hijacked my bottom screen and I couldn't get it to go away. So I actually loaded up Cocoon instead, and honestly, I have been enjoying it. I like it quite a bit. Visually, I like how simple it is. It's real easy for me to navigate and get to all my games. But yeah, just to be clear, the device does not start out like this. That is one of the downsides to this little device. If you're not familiar with emulation, if you're not familiar with like setting all of these types of things up on a device like this, there is a lot of setup out the box to get it to the state that you see it here in this video. I highly recommend following some video guides if you're not overly familiar with setting these types of things up. I know I'm not. It was like a full-time gig getting this thing set up on the first day that I had it. I didn't really get to play any games on it until late into the evening. It was many hours of frustration and setup. But let me tell you, pushing through that frustration is absolutely worth it because now I can just go in, I click on my game, and then it fires right up. Because the front end that you see here, all it does is link up to the emulator that the game is meant to be played on, and it will fire it up through the front end itself. So yeah, you basically have to meticulously set all of these things up. All of the images and artwork and stuff you see here too, that was scraped from whatever source it was pulled from. I'm not like an emulation guru or anything, so I definitely needed the extra help. Oh man, okay, alright, I almost forgot. I gotta put this somewhere earlier in the video. I'm recording this at the end. I'm gonna like slide it in somewhere early on. The sound on this little guy is not great out of the box. That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, ooh, this sounds kind of like poop. Fortunately, there are guides on how to fix this. There is a way to correct it to make it sound much better. Thank God for that. And it does work. It sounds excellent once you get those steps figured out. I don't know why it sounds like poop out the box. Maybe that's something that could be fixed in an update on the AYN's end, AYN's end. Not sure, not a huge deal because it is fixable though. So you might be wondering, well, how do things play? How do things play on this little device? With emulation of any kind, it's not always going to be perfect, and a lot of the time it does require some tinkering to get things to run in a playable manner. But that being said, like, once you get things working, once you get things running nice and properly, it feels so good. It feels so much fun. It's so much fun to fire things up and play them with your hands. I've had some games that I've been wanting to revisit and some games that I've been wanting to play that I haven't played before, and I've been specifically holding off on playing those so I could play them on this device. Kirby Planet Robobot is one of those games. I've always heard great things about it, and I really wanted to give it a shot, and so I actually just finished playing through it a day ago, I think at the time of recording this. Yes, yeah. I think so, yeah, it was yesterday. Super fantastic game. Loved it. I mean, it was so much fun. I may do a separate video talking about that, I'm not sure yet. But for the most part, it ran really well. Aside from like the occasional little bit of stutters, the occasional little bit of choppiness. Again, it's to be expected with 3DS emulation, and I'm sure there's probably some settings that I could have tweaked to make it run even better, but those little quirks really don't bother me that much, so I didn't even bother to go in and get them fixed. I feel like there was probably something I could have done to make it run better. I was running it on Citra, because for some reason I could not get these things to run on Azahar. I don't know why, but it was fine. I enjoyed myself, and you know, the dual OLED display is also just beautiful. I haven't ever had like an OLED gaming device before, and so now I've got this 3DS with dual OLED. It's kind of crazy. The picture is gorgeous, man. The colors, they really pop. And let me tell you, Planet Robobot as a 3DS game upscaled to 4 times the resolution. Honestly, you wouldn't even know that it was a 3DS game. I mean, it looks just, it's beautiful! I've also begun dabbling in Pokemon Omega Ruby again. That is one that I had on the 3DS back in the day, but I never actually finished it, so I'm just like smitten by this. I haven't played a Pokemon game in a long time, so revisiting the remake of my childhood Pokemon game, it's been kind of a little bit of a nostalgia roller coaster. I'm like getting all of these warm, fuzzy feelings from playing Pokemon again that I have not experienced in a long time. On top of that, I've also started to play through a little bit of Yoshi's Woolly World. This is one that I also own on Wii U, and I would be happy to play it on my Wii U, but the problem is my gamepad no longer connects to the console. It's just kind of borked. I don't know why. Does not connect at all whatsoever, and Nintendo doesn't offer the support to get these types of things fixed anymore, so I'm emulating it. Yeah, just to touch on that a little bit briefly too, man, I've been having a great time playing this too. This is another one that I don't think I ever finished back in the day. I didn't think much of it at the time. Now that I'm playing through it here, I don't know what I didn't see in this game back then, because it's a lot of fun. It actually kind of has me a little bit more curious about Yoshi's Funny Book coming up here soon. I hope that game turns out good. I definitely bounced off of Crafted World hard, so maybe, I don't know, maybe I need to go revisit that one again too, I don't know. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess is another game that I've never played before, but I will finally get around to on this little device. That's the amazing thing about it. Like, I'm gonna be able to play so many games that I probably wouldn't have been able to get to otherwise, just because I got this little handheld that just plays everything. It plays everything. Oh, God of War. The original God of War for the PS2. That is another one I'm working my way through right now. I want to say I'm maybe a little over halfway through the game, and I've been having a great time with it. I'm looking forward to finishing up that one, to get around to God of War 2, and eventually God of War 3. God of War 3 is the one that I'm really looking forward to. That was the one that I always had my eyes on whenever I was younger, but I didn't have a PlayStation to be able to play that one, and it just looks so cool. I want to play it so bad, even though I've had a PS3 and the ability to play these games for a long time now. But honestly, it's just nice. It's neat to just have all of these games on one little device. I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but it's really just kind of mind-blowing. Okay, I guess another thing I should touch on is the battery life. The battery life is incredible, especially for older games. You can expect to get hours, and I mean hours, out of this thing. Newer stuff like Woolly World on Wii U, for instance, it does eat through the battery a little bit more quickly. I haven't actually run it from 100% 100% down to 0 while playing something like that on the Wii U yet, but if I had to guess, just based on the amount of battery that I've seen get taken up while I'm playing it, you might get, like, I want to say anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours of play, I would want to say. That's just me guesstimating, I don't know for sure. Yeah, as an Android device too, it's also just highly customizable. I mean, you can put pretty much anything that runs on Android on this thing. I haven't had a chance to dabble with this too much yet. There's software like Game Native and Game Hub Lite that can allow you to play your Steam games on this little device. The only game I actually managed to get up and running was Pizza Tower. I've tried to load up other games and have not had any kind of luck with those, but I also didn't spend a whole lot of time messing with that because that's not really like the main reason I got this thing, even though it is an excellent perk to be able to play my Steam games on this thing too. I mostly bought it to revisit some older games from when I was younger or games that I've missed over the years, so I'm sure I probably could get it up and working just fine. I haven't messed with it too much. I love this device. I can see myself using this quite a bit going forward. I mean, there are so many games that I want to revisit that I have loaded onto this thing. It's gonna keep me busy chipping away for a little while, that's for sure. I do love my Switch and my Switch 2. I mean, Nintendo has some good games, obviously, on those consoles, but the main thing that hurts the Switch as a portable device for me is just that it's so big. It's so big and bulky. I don't feel like that's the kind of device that I can easily have on me as a portable device, even though that's a big part of the appeal of those consoles. I wouldn't feel safe just walking around with it, you know? It's like, you want to have a case for it, but that's just like an extra thing that you have to lug around. It's kind of big, it's kind of bulky. A device like this, I just close it, and it slides right into my pocket. It's perfect. And also the fact that it's powerful enough to play Switch games. It's more of a portable Switch than the Switch itself. I've been using it a lot around the house and just kind of like playing on it and tinkering with it, and just like, it's my new hyperfixation for right now. I just can't help myself. When I wake up, I'm like, all right, where's my AYN Thor? Time to start gaming. Oh shit, how could I have possibly forgotten? So, believe it or not, you can also display this little guy on the TV. I bought a little dongle, a little device that I can just plug right into the USB-C port, and the other end has an HDMI out that I can plug into my TV, and then bam, suddenly I can play games on my TV, and they look fantastic. There was a point yesterday where I finished Planet Robobot, and then I switched over to God of War, which is just kind of a surreal thing to say out loud. Yeah, I switched from Kirby on my little handheld device to over to God of War, you know? But the battery was starting to get kind of low, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm done with it for now. And then it struck me, oh shit, I can plug this into the TV and have it charging at the same time and continue to play God of War, and so that's what I did. I plugged it into the TV, I connected my PS5 controller to it via Bluetooth, and then I got to spend the afternoon playing God of War on my TV, on my AYN Thor. From what I could tell personally, there wasn't any noticeable amount of lag or anything either. That was something I was concerned about. I mean, like, first of all, with emulation, there's always going to be just the most minute level of lag, potentially, that you're gonna have to experience. But then on top of that, you know, running it through the HDMI cable to my TV, and then on top of that, playing it via Bluetooth with a controller, I thought there was a good chance that might not go over super well. But me personally, I didn't have any issues, and I'm a picky bitch about this kind of stuff, you know? Lag, input lag, latency, whatever it is, those types of things do bug me, but it was not noticeable enough for me even to be able to be like, nope, can't do it. It was fine. It was perfectly fine. I'm sure there might be games where, you know, if there's something that requires more precise button presses, maybe I would notice it a little bit more then. Something like God of War, which does have some quick time events, I didn't have too much trouble with. Ran just fine. I'm smitten, man. I'm in love. This is the coolest little handheld I think I've ever owned. Honestly, in a lot of ways, it feels like a true Endgame kind of device to me. It plays just about everything I could ever want, except for PS3, which, from what I understand, is more of an issue with PS3 emulation on Android rather than the device itself. From what I have heard, there's even a good chance that if, you know, PS3 emulation progresses to an extent with Android that it could run on this thing could certainly handle it. I personally bought the AYN Thor Max model, which comes with a terabyte of storage and, you know, the best internal stuff to be able to handle games. I didn't want to have to worry about getting any kind of external storage devices. I figured a terabyte of storage would be more than enough for me, but you can get an SD card to pop into this thing in case you want additional storage. It's easy peasy. Guys, throw some suggestions my way for some games for me to check out. Always down to load up some more games onto this bad boy. I definitely want to finish Yoshi's Woolly World and God of War. I gotta tackle Twilight Princess at some point. I also got Wario Land Shake It on this little guy. I haven't ever played that game. That's one that I really want to dabble with eventually. You know, I never played the Virtual Boy Wario Land game either. I don't know if I said, did I say WarioWare Shake It back there? I don't know if that's what I said. Wario Land is what I meant to say. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. I just wanted to get out here and talk about this thing with you guys a little bit because I'm just in love. I'm gonna be playing so many games. It stinks that videos on older games on this channel don't perform that well because, you know, I play a lot of games. I don't just play the new stuff. I don't just talk about the new stuff. But I know that this channel has kind of become more about like a relevant topic, kind of game newsy sort of channel kind of deal. I don't know. So I don't know, maybe I could like start doing some videos on some older games and like make them like a members type thing if you're interested. That way, you know, you're supporting the channel and you get to listen to me talk about things that I don't usually talk about. So it's just an idea. I don't know yet. I mean, I've been trying to think of ways to provide new perks to my patrons and my channel members for a long time. That could be a fun way to go about it. I'll keep it in mind. I'm sure there's probably stuff I'm forgetting to talk about with this little device. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I could try to address them as best as I can. Like I said, I am not an emulation guru. I'm not super great at figuring a lot of this kind of stuff out on my own. I just sat down, hit record, and I've been talking off the cuff about it. So, yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. But I got a question for you. Have I piqued your interest? Have I piqued your interest with perfection here? Is this the kind of thing that you would consider getting one of yourself? What kind of games would you want to play on it? These are a lot of questions I'm asking you. Write me an essay that I'll read them all. Anyway, okay, I think that's about all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.